It's showtime. Coil class is in session. Just like every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Unless noted. This is coil class, a live coil building session that takes place here on the N.Divine 83 YouTube channel every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Coil class, what is it? Well, you see, I have this YouTube channel based around coil building and wire art, and I'd like to have a video for every type of coil build there is. And this is my chance to do it. So I'm going to go step by step, build by build, easiest to hardest, oldest to newest. And we're going to systematically go through every single coil build until we reach the hardest coil build. And this is going to take weeks and weeks and months, not years. Can't say years. Bobby, I got your mail, man. Thank you very much. I'm looking for, one sec. What am I looking for? Did I find what I'm looking for? I did, didn't I? That's my wallet. I found what I'm looking for, didn't I? I did. This is what I'm looking for, right? So, what's up, everybody? It's Tuesday. Coil class is in session. You best not be late. Better not be late, motherfucker. Just getting a little vape ready. How's everybody's week going? I'm still super busy, but man, I'm going to be working late tomorrow too. But you know what? With work comes money, so whatever, man. I'm losing weight too, but I kind of wanted to lose weight, but it's hot out. Philadelphia is where I live, and we're going through a heat wave, and I'm working a lot. 6 of one, half a dozen the other. You know what I mean? Can you hit when I push? Gotta be clean, man. Gotta be clean. I'm going to say what's up to everybody, and then I'm going to ignore the chat for a little bit. Save your questions for later. Today, we're going to do micro Claptons and hybrids. We're going to mix this one up because a micro Clapton is actually a type of an outside wire. Whoa! No wonder. No wonder. Look at that contact. If your contact looks like that, you need to clean it. How do I do this? First, I just take my finger there and I put a little friction on it. If that doesn't help, then I like to get one of these things. You ever see one of these? This is a pencil. You see that eraser? You see that contact? I already got some of it off. I got some of it off, but now let's do this. Let's take this eraser and let's get the rest off. The friction in the eraser should take off most of that blackness there. The more you do it, the more you will get off. All right. So this is how I do a quick little cleaning. Get the eraser off of there. Just do a little cleaning, little cleaning, little cleaning, little cleaning. Mech mods need love. They need cleaning. And just go like this. Erase it off. Looking better. Doesn't look perfect, but it'll get me by until I can clean it way better, right? And I take my battery sometimes, and I'll do it to my batteries. You see that black mark there? See that? Watch this. I have a video where I clean my Mech mod and show you how I clean them, polish them up. It's one of my oldest videos, actually. It's pretty back there. It is a pre-recorded video. It's not too long. I think it's like 20 minutes long. A couple tips like that in there. All right. Yeah, it's pretty humid. It's hot. What's up? Yeah, I got So if you like coil building tips, I also did contractor and carpenter tips over on Instagram yesterday. Actually, I'll put them up on my clipboard there so you can see them. Very good tips for construction. I mean, whew. And there's more tips where that came from for sure. And now I made a mess. Now I made a mess and I can't find what I'm looking for. There it is. Oh, right. So, let's get started with coil class. We're going to start with micro Claptons, all right? So, we went over Claptons. Claptons are just a core wire with an outside wire, right? What's a micro Clapton? Remember we went over macro coils and micro coils, and micro were smaller. They had a smaller inside diameter. Micro Claptons are a smaller Clapton. All right, micro Claptons are smaller Claptons. So where a regular Clapton is like a 2432, a micro Clapton is like a 3642, something like that. And then you use that to Clapton. So we're going to show you all that. A micro Clapton is just a very small Clapton, and when you're doing coil builds, stuff that's fancy, lots of people like the micro Clapton stuff. You kind of need high gauge wire. I'm going to do the biggest possible, I guess, that you would consider a micro Clapton. Like a micro Clapton isn't a micro Clapton until the core is really small and I would say 32 the biggest, right? And I would say the Clapton on the outside would be like 40 the biggest. Anything bigger than that, I wouldn't consider it a micro Clapton. Micro Claptons are very small. You could use that micro Clapton to do a whole bunch of things. Alien, you could use it for, so many things. So many things. Basically, whatever you could use 36 for, you could use a micro Clapton for, right? Okay. So, when doing most micro Claptons, you got to do long amounts because it's just like remember we did a Clapton and we needed like 5 feet of wire to wrap around your core. Same thing, you would need that much. But if we do it in a hybrid like we're doing tonight, we don't need that much. And I could show you a hybrid and a micro Clapton at the same time. That's what we're going to do. So, a micro Clapton is a very small Clapton, okay? A very small Clapton. All right, we already did Clapton in coil class. Now we're going to do micro Clapton at the same damn time. Guys, I might be out in the heat too much because I'm going crazy. I'm doing 2 builds at the same time. So I talked to the post office, and they basically said that I got robbed. But they said that they replace it. Okay. They said that they would replace my wire. They said I'm going to have to go through some stuff. But they said they replace stuff that's stolen, which is crazy to me. I never thought that they would, but they said that if stuff gets stolen from you, they replace it, insurance or no insurance. So we'll see how that goes. I'll let you know. They said there's a couple more steps I got to take, but all in all, they'll call up Coil Society and pay them for more wire. All right. So let's say hi to everybody that's here. Alistair Robinson, what's up? Bobby McReady's here. Casper Coils, what's up? CB Coils is here. Chevy Man, what's up? Dave Monteferro, what is up? Don Corleone, Effie Wire, what's up? Frank Haskell's here. Geronimo Davis, Justin Crabtree, what's up, Justin? Glad you could make it today. Justin Robinson's here. Kim Dixon is here, as always. What's up, Kim? Stu Rep, what's up? Dose Beans, what's up? And Tommy the Zombie is here. It seems like there's more people here. If you are watching and not chatting, what is going on? If you are here and I didn't say your name, what's up? Big G Coils, John Nass, what's up? Mr. Pebbles here. What is up, everybody? Everybody in the house. All right. Adam Pillar's check. I seen you were here. Nick Fenton's here. Philip Wheeler is here. Okay. So, we're going to do a micro Clapton first. Now, if you watch Saturday's show, I did a micro Clapton. Actually, I have it right here. I did a parallel Clapton with a micro Clapton in it, as seen on your screen. Oh, hold on. Let's get better lighting and stuff. Nope, even better. Hold on. Even better. Hold on. So there's a micro Clapton in this wire. So you usually use a micro Clapton to Clapton with. All right. So let's try to get a better view. And it's very hard. It's a very small one. We're going to do a bigger one today. We're going to do a slightly bigger one today. There's a very small Clapton on that Clapton wire. Okay? So, we're going to make this a little easier today. All right, so let's just get started with this. If I were to choose wires to start with for a micro Clapton, what would I choose? I have 34 gauge, which I love for micro Claptons. That's what I use for this one. You could use 32 if you wanted to start off your first micro Clapton ever. You could do 32 and 40. Okay, 32 and 40. All right, if you wanted to start with your first micro Clapton, 32 and 40 would be a great micro Clapton to start off with. Let's do it this way. Hold on. Doesn't matter what types of wire, just it matters the gauge. 32 and 40. All right. 32 and 40. All right. So, considering I have way more 42 right now, I'm going to use 42. Oh, actually, this is actually plenty. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to use 42 myself and 34. All right, so that would also be a good one. 34 and 42. When doing a micro Clapton, you want to jump up like 8 gauges, 6 or 8 gauges, 8 or 10 gauges. What I mean by that is whatever your core is, you want to add 8 to it, and that would be 42, right? Just like I showed you, 32 and 40. Add 8 to 32, and you get 40. That's kind of how I do it. Can you do others? Yeah, you could. 36, 48 would be great. 38, but for beginners, Rodrigo, that would be super hard. For beginners, that's hard. For beginners, I'm telling you, do this. If you have that and you're able to do that, do that. 3648. Yeah, whatever. 3442. Perfect. That's what I'm using. 3442. Dave and Gore, what's up? So I just say, what's my core going to be? 34. Usually when I do micro Claptons, I do like 3644. 3644 is my happy spot. 3846 is a good one. But I like 3644. All right. Easier to use a soft core wire. I wouldn't say so, M. Gunther. Um, it don't really matter. It don't matter. Once you get that small, it's pain in the ass either way, right? Once you're talking about Claptoning 34 gauge, they're all going to be a pain in the ass. Claptoning 38, I'll tell you this, okay? If you're going to Clapton like 38, you want something super fine to not put pressure on that. Because think about it. You're asking your swivel to spin 48 gauge. You're asking your swivel to do a lot. Because 38 is very thin and not strong at all. All right? So you want something very fine. Like 3842, it ain't happening. It might, but probably not. They're too close in size. So it's not going, the 38's not going to spin because that 42 is pretty strong compared to 38. But 3846, now you're talking. All right. So we're going to do a small amount right now. Small amount. I only need a little bit to do this coil. But just because I'm doing a small amount, I'm going to show you exactly how I would do it if I did a big amount. The exact same thing. Exact same way, only bigger. All right? So first we'll do a small amount, and then I'll show you the hybrid. Like an 8 gauge jump, yes. So 34, add 8 is 42. That's what I'm using, 34, 42. 34, add 8 to it, and 42 would be what I say. Right there, boom. You could do 30, 38. You could do, and these rules are like, they're not really rules. They're just what I prefer, you know. That's what I consider a micro Clapton. That's what I consider being the easiest way to do them. Like Claptoning a piece of 30 gauge with a piece of 32 it's hard. It's hard because 32 and 30 are damn near the same thing. Claptoning a piece of 26 with 26 gauge is hard. Comprende? Because they're the same. You need that Clapton wire to give around the wire. So the core wire has to be stronger. All right. Like, have you ever seen a micro Clapton? You've probably seen people do micro Claptons with 50 gauge. Have you ever seen anybody do a micro Clapton 42, 42? 42 gauge core with 42 gauge outside? You haven't seen it. We're not talking about aliens right now. We're not talking about aliens right now. Just micro. This is coil class. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. We're not talking about aliens. Not going to do that right now. I'm going to shut off the chat because now I'm getting too into the chat now. All right. So here we go. Save your questions for later. Micro Clapton aliens are down the line. They're down the line. I answer the alien one, then everybody's going to be like, what about a pitchfork? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. You didn't even learn a pitchfork yet. One of the funnest things about building coils is trial and error. Really, it is. And then when you get it, you'll be happy. All right? Give it a whirl. Give it a whirl. You could alien with anything. I've aliened with 26 gauge. You could alien with anything. Depends your cores, right? So, put it that way. Have you guys seen the picture? I forget who's doing them, but they're doing these big old aliens. They're like, I don't even know what they are. They're huge. They're probably like 10 gauge with like 24 gauge wrap or something. They're humongous. You could alien whatever you want. Depends what your cores are, right? You can do whatever. Whatever you want. Here we go. Micro Claptons. First and foremost, good swivels. Break out a new swivel. I use Croc 330-pound test and 110 test. The 110s, the smaller one, actually they're right here. 330-pound test and 110 test. 110-pound is better for micro Clapton, so you want this on your outside closest to the wire. You're going to want to put a new swivel on most likely, all right? Depending on how thin you're going. All right? So a 110, a smaller good swivel is going to work good. You want a good swivel to do micro Claptons. It's so important. It's very first and foremost. You better have good swivels if you want to do micro Claptons, unless you're doing them by hand. But so important. If you're using a swivel, it better be good. It better be good. All right. Next. I don't know if we've used this in coil class yet. Maybe we used it last week. A bobby pin. All right. So a bobby pin is for hair. We're going to use it for coil building. All right. So this is a bobby pin. And basically, all it is a loop that I could stick into my drill. You could actually just make one of these with 20 gauge or 24 gauge or whatever. You can just use it with wire. And what I do is I put it into the drill, because when doing a micro Clapton, it's important that your wire spins center. All right. Now, in addition to all this, you want this level. You want your swivel level with your drill. All right. Now, other than that, besides setting up, it's basically a Clapton that you need to have soft hands with, and your swivel must be turning, because it will snap. The wire will snap if you're not careful. That swivel must be turning, because like even 34 gauge, it ain't that strong. It's pretty strong. It's not that strong though. It's not as strong as 26 gauge Clapton. So when it spins, it's going to break. And you would hate to get halfway through and it break, right? Now, like I said, most of the time when people do micro Claptons, they're doing 5, 10 feet, 15 feet, whatever. They're doing very long. I'm doing the same thing, just a shorter distance. All right? Because that's all we need. All we need is enough to do a hybrid. And when we get to hybrids, you'll know why I only need a little bit. All right? So, micro Claptons, it's small wire. 42 gauge is very small, which means it's going to take long to get down to the Clapton. So I like using a fast drill. Do you have to use a fast drill? No. If you have one, you probably want to use it. All right. I have a fast drill. because I wanted it for micro Claptons. That's the only reason why I bought this drill was for micro Claptons. All right. So I'm going to stick the bobby pin in this drill. All right. This is a corded drill, and it goes a lot faster than my cordless drill. All right. Now, I set these up probably a little differently than most people because I have theories. All right. So, I'm going to get some hot glue here and a lighter. I'm going to take my 34 gauge, all right, and I'm going to get out about, I'm going to measure how much I have because I want you guys to know how much I have. All right, so I'm going to get out about this much, and I'll tell you what the length is in a second. I'm not going to stretch it straight. I don't want to weaken it, all right? I don't want to weaken my wire. I want it to stay as strong as possible, and once you stretch wire, you weaken it, all right? So, I'm going to show you what most people do, but this isn't really, and then I'm going to show you what I like to do, all right? So 34 gauge is pretty strong, so you could do this with this. What most people do is they stick the 34 through there, they bend it down, and they twist. All right, they pinch and they twist. All right, and you could do that. All right, if you want to do that, go ahead, be my guest, see how it works for you. Maybe it works fine. All right, and I'll just twist a bunch of times, and now I'm just going to hot glue that closed because I just don't like doing this too much, but most people do, and it works fine for them. That's fine. What I like to do, especially on the swivel side, all right, I'm just going to dab that on there. All right, what I like to do, especially on the swivel side, is I'm going to take this bobby pin off so I can show you what I do. All right. What I like to do is put it through the swivel or through the drill thing, right? Just like I did before. Bend it down. Like that. And I don't twist it. I don't do any twisting. I'm going to hot glue it first. I'm going to hot glue the two wires together that are coming out of the swivel or out of the drill bobby pin. I'll hot glue them and let it dry. Now remember, I usually do this on the swivel side as well. And I'll show you what I do next. I put a lot of hot glue on this. Probably too much. Alright, so it's hot glued. And now I'm going to put it into the drill. The bobby pin's in the drill. Alright, so then what I do is they're both hot. Let's pretend they're both just hot glued. I take this down, right? I stretch it not too tight because you want the hot glue to hold. And I take my 42. I take my 42 and you could either hand wrap it like we do to like our staple coils. You can hand wrap it here. Let's get that nice and tight. It's also got hot glue on it. So pretend I didn't twist this. All right, just pretend. We're going to play pretend. pretend I didn't twist it, and I would wrap it up. Or I would just stick it in the hole and give it a couple rotations with the drill. And there goes my 34. Okay. And then I come down here. All right, remember, I didn't put any twist in this, so there's no need to pretend right here. I'm going to stick my 42 in between the two wires coming out, right there. Give it a twist. And leave it. Okay. So now I'm going to Clapton this. It's on there. It's good. It's on both sides. It's good. You want this wire pretty tight. So you want to pull your drill back, have it pretty tight. If you want to clamp it to the table, clamp it to the table. Now, what I watch very first, what I want to do, now watch. I'm going to hit the trigger, and I'm going to watch this. And I want to make sure that's spinning. All right, I'm going to hold my spool. You don't hold too much tension on a micro Clapton. You hold your spool. It's spinning, but it's acting a little funny. I'm going to loosen up some tension. So I just banged my drill this way towards the swivel. Now let me spin it. That's what I'm talking about. I want that to be spinning. Check that. And then go. And then the next part is all about feeling. You just got to practice. All right? So you don't want too much tension on your spool side. I do hold it like 2 feet off. All right, I hold it like 2 feet off. Make sure you have a good angle. Just get a nice tight Clapton. The faster, the tighter. It's all about feeling now. Like, you can't teach this part. It's all about practice. You just got to practice, practice, practice. As long as you set it up like this, your practice is going to take this much, and then you're going to get it. If you're all set up like this, your practice is going to be about 2 inches of practice, and then the rest of your wire is probably going to be good. So we're not talking about a whole lot of practice. Now watch it. Just look at my swivel. I'm holding like zero pressure. I'm just letting my spool spin and letting the wire pull it in. This is why it's important that this wire is 8 gauges smaller than this wire, because this wire is essentially 8 times stronger than this wire. It's just going to pull it in. It's basically doing all the work. I'm just making sure I move it. I'm just the mover. Everything else is doing the work. Now, this wire is very small, so me showing you a close-up is probably not going to help you any, but I'm going to show you something while it's not moving. All right, you could see that you're going to see the wire just change color. You're not going to see the actual Clapton go around because these wires are so small. All right, but you'll see it change color. It's going to turn more silver, I guess. All right. I will get the measurement on this wire too, so you know how much you need to do these hybrids. So my drill has a button to where it'll just keep spinning if I press that button. You could also clamp the button, close, whatever. Or just hold, like I could just hold button. I messed up and went backwards because of my angle. Put the drill in reverse, just like a regular Clapton. Go forward, get it undone. Put the drill back and forward. Now, when you're talking about 42, 44, 46 gauge, you don't want to have to do that in the same spot a couple times, because after the third time, it's probably going to break. Like if I would have just made a mistake again, it would have weakened the wire 2 times as much. If I would have made it again, it probably would have snapped. So you'll see me do this in a lot of videos where I'm Clapton in long amounts. What that is I'm getting in the middle. And since there's not a lot of tension on the drill and the swivel, in the middle is very loose. What I'm doing is I'm holding the wire steady so it's not going like this, and it's just going like this, like we did with the twisting wire and the jump rope. Now it's out in the middle. Alright, so I do have a micro Clapton video. It's not quite pre-recorded, but I also have a hybrid video that is pre-recorded, and it's actually very detailed hybrid coil video. So, micro Clapton's done. 34, 42, very small micro Clapton. We could use this to do a Clapton with. We could use it to do even an alien with, like somebody asked. Anything. We could do whatever. We could take 5 of them and twist them together. We could do whatever we want. We could do a twisted wire and use this as the helix. We could do anything, really. We could do whatever we want. We could twist 2 of these together and use it as a Clapton. Whatever you want to do with it. Whatever you would do with, basically this is the size of 32 gauge now. Whatever you could do with 32 gauge, you could do with this wire now. It's basically the same size as 32. 34, 42, it's a little bigger than 32. It's definitely around 30 gauge. We've done arch Claptons with 30 gauge. We've done Claptons with 30 gauge. We've used 30 gauge for helix, 30 gauge. We used it for a whole bunch of stuff. whatever you could do with 30 gauge or 32 gauge, you could do with this. If you do it even smaller, you could do it with that too. Pretty cool. Micro Claptons are pretty cool, pretty fun, and they intensify your build that much more. Like if you see an alien, you're like, oh, beautiful alien, and then next to it you see a micro Clapton alien, you're like, oh my god, he spent even more time on his alien, and it intensifies the flavor. Okay, 2 foot exactly, 2 foot exactly, and I don't think I'm even going to use all this 2 foot. I got 2 foot exactly of this micro Clapton. I'm just going to cut it off my drill now. I'll show you what I got real quick. It's so small it's hard to see on this camera actually. Ugh. Hold on. I need a, where's my thing? I just had it. I literally just used it. Whatever. Okay, super hard to see. Why is this harder to see than the 44 was? I don't know. Oh my goodness. I am actually super confused why this is so hard to see. There he is. It'll focus on the dirt on my fingertips though, huh? There you go. See the lines in the Clapton? Jesus. When you need a micro lens to look at your Clapton, that's a micro Clapton. Let's put it that way. Okay. Comes out in pictures though, with good lighting. All right. Okay. We got that. Now, I want to show you the simplest hybrid I could possibly show you that's not so simple it's stupid, okay? So, we're going to do a single core Clapton hybrid, all right? So, hybrids. What's a hybrid? A hybrid is 2 coils in one. 2 coils in 1 coil. You usually have the same cores, but the outside wire differs. All right, so for instance, we're going to use a 24 gauge core. All right, but on the outside, it's going to look like 2 different coils. All right, so we're going to take some 24 gauge, we'll stretch it out, and I'm just going to do a single coil right now. All right, we're going to stretch it out. I'm just going to get about, I don't know, it don't matter really, 6 inch. Take like a 6-inch piece or something. Now, this is how I figure out the math for all my hybrids, just about all of them. And this is just, the only reason I know this is because of trial and error. I've just done so many that but now you don't have to. I'm going to tell you what the issue is. My coil, I want to figure out what bit do I want to wrap this around. I almost always use a 3mm bit. Since I almost always use a 3mm bit, a long time ago I figured out how long is each wrap around a 3mm bit. It turns out, I think it's 3 millimeter. I think it's 3 millimeter, which I'm not positive. But I think since it's a 3 millimeter outside diameter, that each wrap is 3 millimeter. I can tell you right now. Hold on. All right, I got 2 rulers. Because I know how much it is in inches, but I want to help you out here. No, that's not what it is. I'm sorry. Forget I said that. Not at all. Not at all. No. It's actually about a meter. Or a centimeter. A wrap. Wow. It's exactly a centimeter a wrap. Yes, sir. Okay. That's actually, wait. Listen, I'm an American, so we use inches. I wish we used the metric system because it seems so much easier, right? Especially now that I'm looking at this. Okay, so I got to explain it to you this way. I'll show you how I figured this out. All right. Around a 3 millimeter bit, each wrap is either 1 centimeter. I think that's a centimeter. All right. So each wrap is from this line to the 1, right? It's 1 centimeter. Or if you're an American, that's about 3/8 of an inch, which is a little less than ½ inch. It's about 3/8 of an inch around a 3 millimeter. For 2 wraps, you double that, which you usually do 2 wraps with a hybrid or more. You usually don't do just 1 wrap. So for 2 wraps, it is either 2 centimeters or 7/8 of an inch. All right. Or a little less than an inch. Okay. So what we're going to do, let's do 3 wraps. Let's do 3 wraps. 3 wraps would be 3 centimeters and inch and a quarter, something like that. Let's do the 3 centimeter thing. I want to do the 3 centimeter thing. All right, we're going to wrap this around 3 millimeter. You can't do this math and then wrap it around a 2.5. It won't line up. Our idea is to get our seams invisible. We don't want anybody to see our seams unless they picked up the coil and turned it around. All right, but when it's installed into a deck, you want them to be invisible. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to have 3 wraps in the middle that are micro Clapton, and then 3 wraps on either side that are regular Clapton. That's the easiest way we could do. So essentially, we need 3 centimeters of Clapton, 3 centimeters of micro Clapton, 3 centimeters of Clapton. That would be a 9 wrap. All right. We also need the leads, though. We need them leads. So we got to add a little more to the edges, right, for the leads. So as long as my wire is 9, 10, 12 centimeters, I'm good, right? I have 18 centimeters for 1 coil. All right, so I'm going to be plenty good. So here's what I'm going to do. I want about 5, 6, Let's do 6 centimeters of Clapton for the first 3 wraps in the lead. Let me simplify this whole thing. Everything's Clapton besides 3 centimeters in the middle. Everything Clapton besides 3 centimeters in the middle is micro Clapton. All right? Everything else is Clapton. I'm going to go right here in the middle and put a micro Clapton for 3 centimeters. Let's do it that way. All right? So I have a wire that's way longer than what I need. I'm doing a single coil right now, just to keep it simple. Single coil. I'm going to get this on here, and we're just going to do a regular Clapton like we've been doing every class. I'm going to use 36 gauge nichrome. All right, 36 gauge nichrome. I'm going to wrap it around here like this, and I'm just going to Clapton until I get near the middle. Just a nice tight Clapton. All right, so I'm going to go to 5 centimeters just because. 5 centimeters, all right? I'm going to cut this 36 as clean as I possibly can. So what I do is I pull the 36 down and use my close cutters to cut it. See where that Clapton stops? All right. Now, I'm going to take my micro Clapton. This is the end. And I'm going to wrap it around the Clapton I just did in a clockwise motion because my drill's going forward and I don't want it to just spin off. Clockwise motion, I'm going to back wrap it. I'm going to take a clip and clip it on so it stays on, so it's on there secure. And now I'm just going to start Claptoning where that one left off. If I go over it, that's okay. We could fix it later. Why is this not turning? Okay. Now remember we did extension builds and stuff, and I said it doesn't matter if the leads aren't in the post as long as they're touching another piece of metal. That's how the electric goes through. It's the same concept. This is going to light up just fine because the metal's touching, and that's how electric works. If metal is touching, it will continue the current. All right, so let's check how many centimeters I have right now. I have 1.5 centimeters, so I have to go a little more. All right, so I'm just clapping it. I'm going to come back to that close view in a second, but I just want to measure this and see when I get 3 centimeters. I got 2, a little more than 2 right now. I got 3. I got 3 centimeters of micro Clapton, like exactly. I could pull this micro Clapton down and cut it. All right. I still have enough to do a whole other coil. This is more than a foot. I could do the second coil if I wanted to. So if you do the same exact thing I do, you can get dual coil. All right. Now, I'm going to take the 36 nichrome again. The same thing I did to the micro Clapton, I'm going to do to the 36 nichrome. I'm going to back wrap it right here. Just like 3 times. I'm going to move this clip to the 36, and we're just going to Clapton the rest of this out with the 36. Get it tight to that last one. Not for current, for cleanliness. All right, all good. Now, I could take this clip off, right? And this is what I got in the middle here. I got a big mess in the middle. All right. There's my micro Clapton. There's my regular Clapton. Micro Clapton, regular Clapton. These seams we're not going to see at the end anyway. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up that last one I did. All right. I'm going to take this 36, unwrap it, or just hold it and put your drill in reverse. I'm going to pull it tight and cut it. All right. Then I'm going to take that micro Clapton. I'm going to unwrap it. Now I'm going to show you something, a little trick. Now this is only going to happen sometimes, but still. Look at the gap I got there. I'm going to put my drill in reverse, hold that Clapton. I'm going to Clapton backwards. All right. Now we could push them together too because they're a Clapton, but that's not going to work for like fused Clapton hybrids, is it? All right. There you go. Nice and clean. We're going to pull down and cut it as close as we can. Now see, it still makes a gap because they're Claptons, but I could just slide that down, slide this one down. Actually, just like we did with our snake belly, we could push this down, pinch it, and bend it so it stays, because that's what we do with Claptons, right? We want them to stay pushed together. I'm going to do that here too. I'm going to grab it right there while it's tight, bend it, just like we were doing our snake belly so that we didn't push them off. All right. I think we did this in the Clapton video too, right? I think. And this is my hybrid wire. Got Clapton, 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 and then a micro Clapton, Clapton for 3 centimeters. We could clean that up a little better, right? And then Clapton again. So that's what I'm doing. I like to look at it real close and see if there's anything sticking out really big. Cut it a little closer. If not, you could wait until you're done wrapping it. That'll work too. All right. And now we could wrap our coil. All right. So all we're going to do is we're going to take the 3 millimeter bit. Make sure you got a 3 millimeter because these measurements are only going to work with a 3 millimeter. 3 millimeter. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know the measurements of other ones. So if you want to do other ones, figure it out. It's pretty fun. I'll show you how I figured it out the first time. All right, so it doesn't matter where you start. They're going to land. All right, so I'm just going to start like, I'll start here like near the hybrid. And let's wrap it. All right, so I should get 3 wraps of micro Clapton. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. I shouldn't have did the metric system. I shouldn't have did the metric system. I fucked it up. Kind of. Not too much. That gave me 2. That gave me like a perfect. Oh, those are bad measurements, guys. I should have just went with the 3/8. Why is that not working? What did I do to you? Ooh. Ooh. Those are horrible measurements, guys. I'm sorry. That's horrible. I should have checked that. It's more like 4 centimeters for 3 wrap than it is 3. It's like 3.5, 3.7 centimeters. So what's that? 37 millimeters? Why'd I go to metrics? I'm an idiot. I thought it'd be easier. I'm going to do another hybrid anyway, so I'll show you how I usually do it instead of just changing it up on myself. Anyway, here you go. It's not that bad. I just got only 2 wrap. I got kind of 3 wrap, but it's not going to be. I'm not going to be able to show you exactly what I wanted to show you. Well, I could show you a fail anyway. So if I line it up, I could get a 2 wrap hybrid. But the idea is, all right, that's a hybrid. It is a hybrid. You see how I could see that seam down there, though? And look, the other seam is right there. The idea is to have them seams end up in the same place on the back of the coil. All right? Those are very far from each other. Now, watch this. Watch what happens when I take a 3.5 millimeter bit. Watch this. I'm going to open it up and get it on this 3.5 millimeter. That's better. That's better. I think 4 would be even better. Let's do it on a 4. Four millimeter bit. I'm going to put this coil onto a 4 millimeter bit just for the sake of showing you what you're supposed to get, because I just messed up with the measurements. But we're going to do another one so I could show you the right way. This is perfect. So if you did them measurements, wrap it around a 4 millimeter and you'll get a perfect 2 wrap. Or perfect 2 wrap hybrid in the middle. This is what you want it to end up like in the back. You see how them seams are right there? Now watch what happens when I go to the other side of the coil. I just gotta put another wrap in it. Here's the front of the coil. 2 wraps in the middle, right? Oh, that would be the front of the coil. You can't see the seams. 2 wraps in the middle, 3 wraps on the sides. But when you go behind the coil, the seams are back there. All right, so you can get these to line up in the back more by just playing with the leads. So if I get the lead here, I get the lead here. I pull this lead this way. There's my coil. 2 wraps in the front. You can't see nothing on the bottom. Watch the top. You can't see nothing on the top. Look, this whole thing, you don't see any seams. But let's go behind and look at the leads. From behind, you see the leads, and you see the seam line up right there in the same exact place. That's what you want if you have the right measurements. So now let me show you what I usually do, because I should not have went to metric system just out of nowhere. I should have stuck with what I knew and just did that. I'm going to put the chat on and see if there's any questions or anything right now. Probably making fun of me. Oh, all right. Jay's board is here. Josh Main. I could have dropped it to 2.5 and put more wraps into it. I could have did that too. I could have put that on a smaller bit and pulled it tight, and them seams probably would have lined up as well. Could have did that. You could do that, Dave. Essentially, you could do that. Clapton the whole thing and then Clapton over that. You could. Sub-Ohm Samurai, that's what I did. That's what I was just about to show you. So what Sub-Ohm Samurai said, that's how I figured it out. That's exactly how I figured it out. You could also just take 20 gauge, do a couple wraps, right? Do a couple tight wraps. And you could just mark it with a marker to see where the wrap lines up, or you could just like nip it with your, like cut it with your whatchamacallits right there. Just make marks. Cut them, unwrap it, and measure it. All right? Unwrap it and measure where those marks are. And that's what I did. And basically what I got was a little less than ½ inch on each wrap. And that usually works out perfect for me. Yeah, I know. That's what I was trying to do, metric system for you guys. I know what it is. Yeah, a ½ inch is perfect. It's a little less than a ½ inch though. Little less than a ½ inch. Just a little less. If you go ½ inch, you're good. Little less than ½ inch. I was trying to do metric system because I thought that it would help people. I'm sorry. I know what it is, of course. Half inch is 13 millimeter. There you go. So I would go like 12 millimeter. I would go like 12 millimeter would probably be the way to go. If half inch is 13 millimeter, I would go 12. Maybe even 11. Not 9 or 10. Go like 11. 11, 12 millimeter. 13. Right, Kim? I'm getting castrated over here. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Can I show you another micro Clapton and another hybrid to make up for it? Can I do that? Can you guys let me do that? Can I make up for my mistake, guys? Can I do that? Jeez. Getting yelled at. God. Just having a rough week. My goldfish just died. I'm sorry, guys. I don't have goldfish. How about this? I know how to do hybrids, okay? Hybrid. Fancy hybrid. The poo-poo is going down the road. Why F? Oh, because my goldfish's name was Ferdinand. Okay. Goldfish Ferdinand. Gotcha. All right, I'm shutting off chat because these guys are silly. There was no goldfish. I wouldn't buy a goldfish. They die too quick. The PC levels were too big. The ammonia levels were out of control. Can I show you something? Can you shut up? Okay. Another type of micro Clapton would be a micro Clapton ribbon. What if you wanted to micro Clapton a ribbon? Well, guess what? It's damn near the same exact thing. Same thing. When you micro Clapton ribbon, I don't suggest you do it with anything bigger than 40. That's just whatever ribbon you do. 0.3, I wouldn't do 40. No. 0.4, 40, sure. I would go more like 42, 44. Somewhere in that ballpark. Let's get a piece of 0.4 ribbon. 0.4 stainless steel. Let's just get out. I mean, I got out too much the last time. Just get out about this much. We'll call it 16. We can give it a little stretch. Ribbon's pretty strong, especially 0.4. All right. A little stretch at Rooski. All right. We're going to take this ribbon, fold it over the swivel. So now I got two pieces coming out just like that. Get my hot glue. Heat her up. Dabble do you? Right over both pieces, glue them together. Oh, I didn't finish all of Stranger Things, but it's fucking awesome. Dude, the soundtrack alone, I'll watch just because of the soundtrack. Just because of the soundtrack, I'll watch that. I didn't like season 2, but I'm enjoying season 3 quite a bit. Quite a bit. Wait a minute. So I Everybody's got different tastes. But, I mean, for the most part, I'm right and you're wrong if you don't like it. So, I mean, opinions are like assholes, and mine doesn't stink. So, there you go. Bend it over here. Hot gluey. Boom. They're both hot glued. .44. You could also use .42, but I don't think there's enough .42 on this spool to go. No. We're going to do .44. So first I'm going to take the .44, put it through the two pieces of ribbon. Oh. Spin. Safe to say that that's on there, right? Just pull that off. Don't even need to cut it because it's 44. All right. Put it through this one. And spin. Safe to say that's on there good. Make sure, now, swivels are important with ribbon because they will twist up, right? So we want to make sure that we have the proper tension on this to where it Claptons, but it doesn't twist. So just do a couple turns first. The bigger Clapton wire you use, the more chance of this twisting. I just reversed that 4 times. Now, whatever you do with 0.4 ribbon, you could do with this. It's just 0.4 ribbon with a little bit of wire over it. That's all. You like that? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool shirt, dude. Okay. There you go. There you go. 0.4 ribbon Claptons with 44. So hard to see. 44. Okay. Let's do a fuse Clapton with this. So I think the only problem with tonight's show is that I'm not installing tonight because I don't have any RDAs cleaned that are for coil class right now. So we're going to have to skip that part tonight. Sorry. That's just what it is. I gotta get shit together. I gotta get my shit together. I'm horrible. I'm a horrible person. What can I say? I'm a real piece of shit. I'm sorry. Okay, let's see if I could teach you how to do this the right way now. Like I said, I got a pre-recorded tutorial on hybrid, so just go watch that because I'm an idiot right now. I don't know what possessed me to change it up. 2 pieces of 26 gauge on here. All right. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, what do I want to use? What do I use? What do you got? What do you got? I got some 38 gauge stainless steel. We're going to take this 38 gauge stainless steel and we're going to Clapton. We're going to Clapton for, I don't know, 3-inch? Sure. We're going to do for 2-inch. 3-inch is way too long. This is 2 inches here. All right. And I'm going to cut. Now I'm going to take my ribbon, my Clapton ribbon, and do the same thing I was doing with this. I will go close up in a second. I'm going to wrap it around a couple times. I'm going to get a clip and clip it on. This is my Clapton ribbon going on now. You know, I just want 2 wraps of this. 2 wraps around a 3mm. So I want to measure from where I started and it's clean. An inch is right where that 1 is. All right, so I got to go a little more. right, let's measure. We're pretty much there. So I like to go right before an inch because it seems like it's a little less than an inch that you need. So just like one line before an inch I like to go. All right, and that should be 2 wraps. Each wrap is a ½ inch for a 3mm. Each wrap is a ½ inch, a little less, but a ½ inch will do. If you do a ½ inch, you will be good. To be exact, it's a little less. All right, so now I got that, and I can cut. Okay, keep that over there. 38 again. Each wrap is a ½ of an inch. So if you want 2 wraps, do an inch. That's what I just did. All right, wrap that around there. Now, if you're really smart, you could figure out how to do 2 coils in one by just keep going with the 38 for a little longer. Let me see how long this is. This is long enough to do it. I don't want to confuse anybody. Let's do the, I got enough wire to do the 2 coils, so let's do the 2 coils. So my first coil's done. I'm 4 inches in. I did an 1.5 inches here, an inch here, and an 1.5 inches there. That's 4 inches. 1.5 inches, inch, 1.5 inches, 4 inches. Let's do another 1.5 inches. Of 38. So I should have 3 inches right here, right? I need a little more to get that 3. That should be good. Now I can cut my 38, get my ribbon again, back wrap it on the 38, pinch it with this, Clapton for an inch. I got to measure because I do want exactly an inch, a little less, which would mean not exactly an inch, but a little less than an inch. It's like 2 more wraps, I got it. Okay, to cut that off, nice and clean. Get my 38 one more time and finish up this wire that you can't see. So you can do dual coil if you set up the right way and measure out the right way. All right, now I'm at the end. What I do now is I go through and I clean everything up. I'm going to take this guy off. I'm going to cut the 38 I just put on there. I'm going to untwist this guy here that I back wrapped just to get on there. I'm going to pull him tight. I'm going to cut him clean. I'm I'm going to come down here to this 38. I'm going to unwrap it. I'm going to cut them clean. I'm going to come to this ribbon here that's Clapton. I'm going to unwrap him until it's clean and cut it clean. All right. Now, I have micro. Wow. I have micro Clapton ribbon and micro Clapton ribbon, and then this 38 section, I'm going to measure in the middle of it. So I got about 2 3/4. So 1 3/8 I could cut it. And that'll be the middle. Cut this one. Cut this one. All right. So this is what I got. I got 2 pieces like this. It's a fuse Clapton. Micro Clapton and regular fuse Clapton. Doesn't really matter what the seams look like because they're going to not be seen anyway. All right. Let's get the 3mm and try this again. I actually think I messed up one of them. Where is it? Here it is. Let me make sure it's a 3mm on here still, because I did a lot of switching around. It is. All right. All right. Here it goes. Let's wrap them up. Beautiful. Leads are a little short, but that's okay. Make sure they're on the back bottom-ish, kind of, the seams. There's the front. Now let's look back at the seams, or at the legs. And there's the seams right at the back bottom. Front, top, back, bottom. Let's wrap this other one. Yeah, I didn't do a good job on this one. I'm just having an off night tonight. Who knows? What are you gonna do? my seam isn't lining up. Which isn't, it's not the end of the world. It's just, you kind of want them to line up, because then you could really hide it if you line it up. You could hide it really good if you line it up. So you got a seam in the back there, but then I also have a seam at like the very bottom, which ain't good. Now I can fix it to where it looks a little better, but you kind of want to, I just didn't measure it out right. I didn't go an inch. It was very short. I think it's because I was trying to show you guys an inch in the camera, and I was way off. Such is life. So yeah, I could play with it a bit and make it look a little better, but what are you gonna do? So here's what we got. What do you want from me? Right? Right. Yeah, Rita's water ice is pretty awesome. I don't like it as much as most people do, but I don't know what's up for next week yet. I just, man, I don't know. I don't know yet. I'll let you know like Saturday or something. Check out my hybrid video though. Check out my hybrid pre-recorded. It's a good video. So a ½ inch per wrap, an inch per 2 wraps. Do that. Days feel longer when it's hot too, you know? Yeah, it is a busy season. What's up, Johnny? It is. It's crazy. Crazy times. Crazy, crazy times, man. I tell you, crazy times. Saturation station, what's up? Hey, Jerry, I don't know if I said hi to you. Man. Where's my juice? I don't know. I'll tell you what, though, guys. I haven't ate and I'm hungry. So, we're going to cut this one short. If this didn't help, definitely check out the pre-recorded. Check out Hybrid Coils and Divine. It's like an hour long, I think. Hold on. Let me show you. So first of all, you can go on playlists, advanced coil tutorials. It's not here. Why is it not here? Hmm? It's not beginners. Yeah, I gotta find it. 1 second. It's not in any of my playlists. Damn it. I'm gonna put it in the playlist now. If you look up hybrid coil, it comes up. It's an hour and 7 minutes long. N.Divine 83. Odafo official. That's not hybrid. Pre-recorded coil build tutorial, the hybrid coil. It's like one of the first ones that come up. Let's save the playlist. It'll be in advanced coil tutorials. All right, this is what it looks like. Oh, damn it. Ah, oh, man, I messed it up. The hybrid, that one, that's mine. All right. It's a really good tutorial for hybrid coils. I'm going to tell you, that's it. Big G just put the link in there. Thank you, Big G. There you go. That's the link right there. It's a pre-recorded. So nice, Jay. Okay. Let's see if I can. I don't think I could put this in. There's the link. Yeah, I'm gonna go eat, guys. I'm withering away to nothing. I'm fucking withering away. All I eat is fruit and vegetables, and then I have like a good meal at the end of the day. I'm burning a lot of calories, guys. I had to lose 10 pounds in the last week. Had to. Had to. Maybe 15. Fresh 03 in about 30 minutes. Is that what happens when you get hungry too? Is that like you burning calories like that? I think that's like when your stomach's upset. It's because it's working, right? Yeah. All right, everybody. I will see you later. Peace out. Have a good week. I'm working late tomorrow. Listen, I'd like to come live at a different time this week. Tomorrow's Wednesday. So I think Thursday and Friday are going to be regular days for me. So I'll see. If I could come live, I will. Let's put it that way. All right? Tomorrow I'm working late. It ain't going to be tomorrow. I'm working late tomorrow. Got to get the walls plywooded and Tyveked. So, going to be working late tomorrow, but everybody, have a good night. Have a good week. I will see you. Thanks for the show. It was fun. Hope it helped. See ya.